pretty simple. I win.
Hello, guys. Let me get the microphone here. Let me turn the light on. All right. That might be a little too bright. Huge game today. Long time no see. It was a good week to take the week off. I'm working on some other videos right now, and happy to see everybody in here with the comments so early. Hope you can hear me okay. Got the everything. And Boswell is starting for the Illini. I don't know if anybody knew that he was hurt for them, but he had a thing on his hand in the warm-up that he took off right before the start right here. So I'm going to turn my TV down a couple of notches. I don't want copyright infringement. But good to see everybody here today. Sco, Justin, Matrix, Hoosiers for life. Thank you for being here. This game is huge. Look, no self-imposed limitations, right? That's the Curt Cignetti way. And if Indiana could get it done in this game, would really firmly put Indiana off the bubble. They're already off the bubble, but they would be a lot more firmly in the tournament if they could win this game or the Purdue game. We know Illinois got beat by Wisconsin. They've had a little bit of struggles here recently. Illinois cannot lose any more games and have a chance to win the Big Ten. So, and then Wisconsin pretty much just outshoot Illinois in that last game. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. This is one of the places I think is underrated. As far as like a place to play, because it is always hard to play there. So can they get it done? They got Wagler has been playing lights out for them. V said we know him. And here's the tip. Alexis controls the tip and Nick Dorn has it. And I would imagine that Enright is going to guard Boswell in this game. Or Wagler. I don't know. But we'll see. All right. Enright with the ball. Lamar Wilkerson, fresh off of his awesome game against Oregon, knocks it out of bounds. Yep. Boswell, that was good defense there. All right. Alexis with the offensive board there. Now he throws it back to Enright. Enright drives right hand baseline to Dorn. Now back to Enright. To Dorn, looking for Alexis inside. Alexis with a clear lane to the hoop and a big dunk to start the game. Boom, that's what you want to see right there. Good offense and leading to an easy two-pointer. Illinois, Boswell drives, gets it down to I got to get my phone so I have their. No, Illinois got a few new players, but they still have a lot of the same old. All right, Wilkerson with the ball. 2-2 in the early going here. Alexis now, one-on-one. On Avicic, gets in there. I mean, you're thinking Alexis at 6'9". I mean, I was thinking this before the game going up against him, and he's 7'2". And, Illinois has got a lot of big guys, so huge to get a couple of paint touches there early. 4-2 Hoosiers. Boswell. And Wagler went right in for the two-pointer there. Enright with the ball, drives right. Back out to Alexis. Look to spot up for the three. Alexis drives, gets into the paint. Nowhere to go. Now he gets Dorn on the back cut. Alexis back for three. And, that would have been huge. Alexis with the first points there. But 4-4, Illinois got the ball. Bring it up. Wagler drives right. Being guarded by Enright. Okay, Boswell with the ball. DeVries all over him. He pushes off a little bit. Didn't call the offensive foul. And Alexis in there with an aggressive rebound. I like what Sam Alexis is doing these past few games. Nick Dorn, happy he was not called for a travel there. It might have been close, but he got right into the paint and he's going to the line. Markovich, get out of the way because Sam Alexis is coming into play. Whew. I don't think he hurt him there, but Alexis got a big body. He's got to use that. He's got to use that backside. And Markovich goes out of the game there. And Hummerkaus comes in. Dorn at the line. Makes a second. 5-4 Hoosiers. Pretty good energy from Indiana to start this game out. Yeah, let's go get a win in this game. This will be huge for IU. Wagler, guarded by Alexis. And Enright on the 7-footer down low, but he tosses it out. Wagler drives the reverse dribble and it gets right into the basket. What a pretty move by him. He has been on fire. You got to do anything you can to get in front of this guy, but a tough spot right there for DeVries. He drove right down on him. All right, 3-point play for Illinois, 7-5 now. Wilkerson bringing it up, and they're going to the press, putting some extra pressure on IU. I'll try to move this. Oh, that's right. Right, Wilkerson, right in his spot. That is it. When he's in that spot, he rarely misses, and he can move back from there. That is a good shot for Wilkerson. 8-7 Hoosiers. Wagler with the ball. Drives left, misses the shot, which is a rare miss for him, and they still get it to go down. Wilkerson with the ball. Goes left. Gets it to Alexis up top. Now to Dorn. Alexis sets a screen. Dorn over to DeVries. Back to Dorn. Shot fake and the drive by Dorn. Shoot. Good fake. Drive just could not finish it there. All right. Boswell with the ball. Avisa's playing a little two-man game up top. Boswell drives in, tries to put it in with the right hand and clanks around and misses. Tucker DeVries with a long one here and put that one in. All right. He needed to get that. Bad transition defense there by Illinois. And they gave up a lot of threes to Wisconsin. So Indiana's going to be open on some of these. Wagler goes all the way in. Has a tough kind of Euro step by him. Pretty good start for the Hoosiers, though. Man, hit a couple of threes here. Got Sam Alexis inside already. And we are off. I mean, we have had a lot of games that have not started out like this. Subscribe to the channel. I'll show you. I got some new shirts for a giveaway. Got a bunch of these for users at the game, so I'll be giving these away. These are what they gave away on Monday when they were honoring the 76 team, but luckily all the student section wasn't full, so I grabbed like 20 of these. So got the 76 on the arm, undefeated national champions, 50th anniversary. So I will send some of these out to subscribers, commenters, and I know I took the week off of videos. It was a good time to take a rest. I had to make a video for Fiverr, and with the long layover in between, it was just a perfect time, and there wasn't a ton of football news or basketball news this week. But Indiana is playing some of its best basketball they've played in quite a while. Quite a while. Probably since that team with Trace Jackson Davis. That was the last time they had a team playing well at this time, but we shall see. Off the subject, but something I am yeah, and I got a couple of these shirts. I got a couple of these shirts with some signatures. I got Kent Benson's signature on one of them. I got Quinn Buckner's signature on another one after the game. So people will be happy to get those. All right, and we're back. Brad Underwood, he is a damn good coach because it's Illinois has been really good for a decade. I don't even know when he got there, but dang, both teams shooting 57.1% on field goals, 4-7. So we are like pretty much even up here at the early going of this game. It's been 8 points in the paint for them. Wagler, hits the second and ties it up. So could Indiana get just up a couple of lines? I've been looking at the standings so much this week, I mean, they've already beat some of the teams right in front of them. So, except for Iowa, Tucker DeVries with the ball. Now he gets it to Wilkerson. Wilkerson gets the ball knocked out of his hands. Now driving a little bit, and he throws up an air ball. Looked like that ball got tipped. Not just did not look comfortable what he was doing there. All right, Illinois with the ball now. To Wagler. He's going to drive left. You cannot let him drive left. Offensive foul. Blocking. Nope. Whew. It's going to be tough to get some of these foul calls, some of these offensive fouls, because when a guy becomes such a good scorer like this, is it Wagler or Wagler? I've heard people say it both ways, but I went to school with a kid named Wagler. It was spelled just like that. So people called him Wags. So I'm going to go with that. He tosses it into Mikovic and out of bounds to going to go to Indiana. All right. 11-11 Indiana's ball. 14:22 on the clock. This would be huge. This will be huge. Wilkerson with the ball, with the jump hop into the lane, and with a nice finish. Indiana has changed the way they play. These guys don't just spot up. They have a better feel for when to take the threes and when it's open to go into the lane. So it's been so welcome to see. Illinois, he reverses the ball over. Guy with the ponytail nails it. Davis, your hair's covering your name. 14-13. Wilkerson drives right, gets it back to Enright. Enright goes right. Pretty good movement here from Indiana, and DeVries gets right on the baseline like Calbert Chaney and nails that one. All right, Wagler with the ball. This is going to be a battle all day between him and Enright. Now they switch. DeVries, and they got a mismatch with Enright, or do they? Because we know Enright, he will fight his way in, but Maravich gets that shot in. Enright bringing the ball up over to Wilkerson. Alexis sets a screen, and Wilkerson drives and reverses over to Dorn. Misses that three. Alexis grabbed that rebound. That's an IU's ball. Sam Alexis is super active on the offensive glass all of a sudden. Enright gets it into DeVries. But that went up a little high. All I can think is Maravich when I see this guy's name, but I know it's not. Oh, all right. DeVries with the rebound. I thought that was close to a travel there. What was he doing? Enright, back to DeVries. Back to Enright. Flips it over, and he gets the ball stolen away. Kind of a rare turnover by Enright there, and turns it over. They get the breakaway dunk. 18-15 now. Indiana's got two. It's going to start going nuts in there, so they got to get it. Got to keep it together here. Wilkerson. He calls for the screen. Alexis comes up, screens Wilkerson right, and goes over to Dorn, back to Wilkerson. And that's a foul on Illinois. No, I cannot believe they just, I thought that guy was just pushing him out of bounds, but all right. Well, Indiana has got to get it going here. Hope everybody's having a great week. We're just kind of like about a month away from really the basketball and everything, which I would like it if they almost moved basketball season back like a month. I wouldn't care if they played the March Madness in April and played it on like May 1st, but just because football used to end at Thanksgiving, and now that it ends like, well, at least for us, January 19th, it just feels like all sports are going to be over in a month, and we're going to have to wait till August to see it come back. Yeah, here too. It's like 57 degrees up here in Fort Wayne today. There's a video I've been doing research on to work on is about the Fort Wayne Pistons in 1955, 54, 55 when they apparently let gamblers made them throw the series. Can you believe that? Fort Wayne would be a championship city if it wasn't for Andy Phillips. All right, here we go. These player stats up here. Merkovic. That's his name. Avicic. They got all these European players. The worst names. A Merkhouse I can deal with. All right, Illinois with the ball. 15-18. Indiana's defense is going to have to play lights out today. Connerway, and they give up the three-pointer. Right there to Merkovic. Connerway is in the game. We have not seen him. The Oregon game, he was just in the last few minutes of that game, and that was about it. So Miles with the ball. Wilkerson drives right. Gets it over to Dorn. Hit that one. And Indiana just off on a few of their shots. I thought that was looking good. Illinois now bringing it up. 15-21 Illinois. Wagler looking for Boswell. And then Merkovic just easing his way in. Hummerkaus on the three off the back iron. Illinois with the offensive board. Come on, got to stop that. Wagler takes the long three, does not go in. Good thing. Reed Bailey in the game with the rebound. To Connerway, to Josiah Miles. Connerway going right. To Wilkerson. Oh, and off of his foot and out of bounds. Heck yes. The old throwback. I still have. I don't know if you remember when Damon Bailey used to set up tables at Glenbrook Mall, but I still have shirts like in my closet signed by him. I mean, I've not gained that much weight since I was 18, 16 years old, but he used to sell these like Damon Bailey. Now there you go. LS Airs. That's when it was the real place. All right. Illinois takes the three and hits it. Now Illinois going on quite around 24-15. Indiana's got to start scoring now. Connerway bringing the ball up the court. Over to Miles. And we definitely need Dorn to Reed Bailey with, and he gets really blocked by the rim on the reverse. He just mishandled it. Yeah, that Boswell guy is tough. I mean, he is a big-bodied guard. Wagler is slippery like a snake, but this dude's like one of the more physical guards. Wilkerson with the inbound. Gets it to Connerway. DeVries to Miles. Back to Miles. And he goes ahead and hits himself a three-pointer. 18-24 now. Really needed that to kind of stop this bleeding a little bit here. Merkovic bringing it up. DeVries on him. Over to Boswell. Now to Avicic, to back to Boswell, and Avicic with the long three, misses it. I feel like he kills us every time we play this Avicic guy. He just has such a smooth stroke. Wilkerson with the long three. Indiana's got, all right, with a nice little comeback here for Indiana. A 6-0 run when they really needed it. Especially with some of the guys they've brought in off the bench. So, all right, Merkovic with the ball. Gonna toss that three ball up, and that was silky smooth. You got to stop that from happening. That looked very easy for him. Reed Bailey with the ball now. To Wilkerson. Wilkerson with the pocket pass to Bailey, and then over to Connerway, and he's going to drive in. Wow, I thought that was going to go down and missed. Now Illinois out on the break. Indiana gets back on defense. Good closeout by Bailey there. And Josiah Miles going to get called for the foul there. Boswell gets in the lane, and 7:49, the under 8 timeout, and got ourselves a ball game here. These games will be defined by who makes the least amount of mistakes. It is so nice to watch an Indiana. It is so nice to watch an Indiana team that can hit 3-pointers so they can come back like this. You know, the Miller and Woodson teams, they just could not shoot. So if you got down 8, it felt like it was 16. And that Merkovic, he is killing it right now. He has got 10 points to start this one, and Wagler's got 7. We're getting a little break from Wagler right now, and Boswell's got 5. I get these two Avicic brothers mixed up. So the 44 has the mask on, but I cannot tell which one was there last year. We got Wilkerson with 8. Josiah Miles got that 3 ball. And then Tucker DeVries with 5 and Sam Alexis with 4 so far. So that's right, Rick. You gotta be able to knock down, at least right here. You know, they were able to they got enough guys that can hit threes that should be able to keep them in this game. And they've done a much better job of had a Damon Bailey shirt signed by Calbert Chaney. Damon Bailey in the 92. Heck yeah. It's like only Damon Bailey in the state of Indiana at that time, you know, could have just sat at a table in Glenbrook Mall and sold T-shirts. Like, it's pretty cool. But he was like just the biggest hero in the ever since the book Season on the Brink came out. His status was legendary. Merkovic, you cannot go under that screen. DeVries kind of got shaded out there, but boy, you got to stay up on this guy. He looks like a pro. I mean, you got to admit, these Europeans, they know how to play basketball. You know, they teach the game of basketball over there like we don't do here. I mean, maybe we do in Indiana, but other places, it's just all me, me, me. Merkovic into the lane, and Avicic grabs that rebound under the basket. Come on, get the board. And they're going to call a foul on Avicic. Of course, he did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. How many times did his mother see that face? All right. Enright with the ball. Gets it over to Reed Bailey. Dribble handoff to DeVries and back to Reed Bailey. And Wilkerson's got it. Being guarded by Davis and drives in. Kind of got in between putting that off the backboard and floating it in and missed. Illinois with the ball. Wagler over to Merkovic. And he is the guy you got to guard this guy. He is looking like a machine out there right now. Got to stop the bleeding. You got to stop the bleeding. Wilkerson driving. Gets it over to DeVries. And right now, pretty good movement by Indiana here. Reed Bailey with the drive in. He's going to get in there. That was good for Reed Bailey. he fumbled that all around and he got it in the basket, and he rarely does that. So they needed a basket there. 23-30 now. Boswell to Avicic to Wagler, and he's going to drive left. Gets it over to Davis in the corner. He's got kind of himself trapped in Avicic in the other corner, and he misses that. So Illinois is kind of missing some shots here. So Indiana with a chance to make a little comeback. And right to Reed Bailey. Reed Bailey dribbling up top to Enright now, and to Tucker DeVries. He's going to drive in, bring it back out. There you go. Enright, hit that, buddy. Nope. Off the right iron, and Illinois with the ball. Not a terrible possession for Indiana. That wasn't the worst shot. Davis down to Merkovic, and a nice pass inside. Indiana's defense kind of got strung out of sorts there when the first pass came in. All right, Wilkerson gets it over to Enright. Back to Wilkerson. Now Reed Bailey in that top of the key position. Wilkerson drives. What a finish. What a reverse by Wilkerson. This guy should be in the running for Big Ten Player of the Year. I mean, it's just amazing that he wasn't even in the top 10 before that Oregon game, because he scored 44 against Penn State. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know basketball. But he's turning heads now. Boswell with the ball. Boswell drives and shoot to get that rebound. Illinois got it. A fresh clock, 14, and Wagler with it. You cannot let him drive left. Boswell takes the shot. Not a great shot. And Illinois with another rebound. Indiana has got to get on the board. They have got to block people out here. Enright on a Avicic, which they call a charge there. Indiana needed that to happen. Like, they needed that offensive foul right there because they were running out of gas. Oh, yeah. Alan Henderson, he was so good. Yeah, these guys, I mean, Illinois has so many tall guys. But I'm surprised. You look at Indiana's defensive statistics. I mean, 2-point field goal percentage. I mean, they're one of the top in the country at preventing people from making twos. Heck yeah, Bob and Tom. That used to be my go-to. There early 90s by somebody, I still have some of the Bob and Tom CDs actually, so let me look at them. We'll figure this out. Tucker DeVries, that's who you're talking about there. I know it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I've almost entirely forgotten about him. I don't know if he's in the doghouse or if he hit the freshman wall, or if it's just that Miles is playing better right now in practice. It's hard to tell. I will say this, I mean, college basketball has got to be about the players that are getting it done for you, and I think Darren DeVries is the type of coach where he knows, you got to ride the hot hand sometime. And Miles has been playing maybe a little better. Maybe Sicily hit a little bit of a wall. Maybe he's seeing something in practice, but I do think our last two coaches just would not make the right decisions. They would get hard headed and be like, no, Malik Renew, he's going to go back in the game. So I'm kind of happy, that DeVries didn't, because Connerway, what's happened with Connerway is really strange because a lot of teams would just put him back in the game, but it's so obvious that when he's not in there, we are a better team. There's nothing against him. That's just how chemistry is sometimes. It's trial and error. It's trial and error. And it's like, but Reed Bailey put in a couple of good minutes there. We've had very few games where Reed Bailey and Sam Alexis have both played well. So boy, all those guys. Petrovic, Merkovich. All right. Enright with the ball. Illinois ramping up the pressure, it seems like a little bit here. Wilkerson now back to Enright. Tucker DeVries with it. Take that mid range. Yeah, they're just going to leave you wide open there. He's been hitting like Tucker DeVries is a very malleable type of player. I've kind of seen as this season's gone on. He doesn't need to shoot a ton of threes on this team right now. Illinois with it. Wagler, he goes left and behind his back, drives right. Nice move by him. That is just hard to stop. You gotta stay in front there. But yeah, he loves driving left, and he got faked out of his shoes on that last one. Wilkerson with the ball. He's backing him down. Boom. Looking like a Michael Jordan shot on that. Wilkerson is playing the best basketball of his entire life and probably going to get in the NBA with the way he's getting it done and can shoot the ball. Wagler driving right all the way into the bucket in the score, and he is hard to stop. Indiana has got to help or stop the ball. Somebody's got to, I don't know if they're going to adjust how they're going to play him throughout this game. And right now, goes left, back to Alexis. Now, Wilkerson on the nice back cut. That is nice. Indiana always gets about 2 or 3 of those a game. They're going to over pursue on the 3 ball so badly. I mean, yeah, that back cut's going to be there a couple times. Wagler to Davis, and he's got another 3 off the back iron. Come on, call the foul on that one. That's on Merkovic. And he's totally innocent. I don't know if anybody watches this channel, but I've been watching it so much. It's called Gas Station Encounters. Hilarious. It's some gas station over in Ohio, but this guy's like a real comedian on that. He's been going to that mid-range jumper. All right. And right. He's got it to Wilkerson. He's going to put that up in an air ball right out of bounds. I don't know what he was doing there. He got himself up in the air. I don't know if he thought he was going to get the foul or what, but a little awkward. Illinois on the inbound here. Wagler into Merkovic. Back to Wagler. Being guarded by Dorn. And The mask Davicic throws up the three, and then Merkovic with the rebound right over the back. Enright complaining about the foul there, but Indiana not getting the call. Gonna be a battle today. Enright going to Wilkerson. Now to Alexis. Alexis gonna drive straight into the right. And whoa, that's a goaltend. Oh no, I must have hit off the. That was a weird shot. That was just a weird way it looped out of the basket. Wagler being guarded by Miles. Miles with some good defense here. All right, what a play. What a good series there by Miles. I have not seen him play like that against the best player in the country right now. Miles puts his head down and drives. Alexis, just barely get that rebound out of his hands. Hummerkaus grabs a rebound, and Wagler's got it to Hummerkaus. He's going to take a deep one, and that was off all the way. Shoot, and that's the way it ends there. Boy, already the first half's over, and 31-38. And Brad Underwood is pissed. Just stupid. I mean, a three. I kind of would have liked to see him take a three there. Although, I mean, you can't blame the guy for being aggressive, but that was stupid with 16 seconds. Gave them another chance at a bucket, but thank you, Vigo. Yeah, I like Ken Sterling too. He is the man. Yeah. Where is he? Yeah, that is true because sometimes rebounding, a couple of those were kind of unlucky. I thought Merkovic went over the back on Enright on that one. I thought Enright looked like he was blocking him out, and but they used to call that more. They used to call over the back more. It just depends on the ref, I think. Let's go over these stats here. We look at that. Like Illinois is beating us in every category they have highlighted. I don't think I've ever seen that. Normally you get one just by default. Boy, this game, what a flow. I mean, I hate games where there's tons of free throws. Indiana only 1 of 2 on free throws. They were only 3 of 3. They just had the and one and went to the line. So only 3 guys going to the line in this game. So entertaining game so far. 13 of 28 for the Hoosiers, 46.4%, and actually shooting better than Illinois. Illinois 15 of 33, 45.5%. The 3-pointers, 4 of 13 for the Hoosiers, 5 of 16 for Illinois, 30.8% for the Hoosiers, 31.3% for them. And the rebounds are killing it. 17 rebounds for Illinois and 9 for the Hoosiers. If you can get some stops and get these rebounds, that's how I'm right there with you. I think Illinois is one of my least favorite teams. And just how would I rate these? Purdue, then Michigan State, then Illinois. I don't know. Remember the year in 2013? I remember them losing on a really stupid inbound pass when they had Cody Zeller and those guys. It was like just one of those games you didn't want to see them lose. So that one really sticks in my mind. I don't know why. But over the years, I'd love to have more bitter rivalries. Back when it was Henson and Bob Knight. I mean, those were the days of how long did he even coach there? Some of these guys. Wow, he coached there from 75 to 96. So that really was like he was there the true run of Bob Knight. Lou Henson, that is. Let's look at the player stats here. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. We are at halftime right now. So, yeah, Bielma. He really. Heck yeah, Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne's got some good coaches too. Matt Roth coaches in Fort Wayne, and uh, you just see around a lot of it, a lot of good players. I feel like in the whole grand scheme of things, a lot of times Fort Wayne gets overlooked just because it's not Indianapolis, and so the schools are just a little bit smaller. Underwood reminds me, hey James, what's happening? He reminds me of that crazy coach Iowa had, Fran. Brad Underwood's hair seems like it would scare me if I was a player, His hair. It's very stiff up on top, but sometimes he doesn't get that hair gel all the way back here. If you want that full, I don't think he's Italian, but if you want the full mob look, you gotta get more slacker up there. Maybe he just needs one of those mirrors where he can see the back of his head. It's the town of Decatur, Illinois, or Decatur, Indiana, or Decatur, Ohio. That's Luke Goody was at Fort Wayne. There's quite a bit of guys that come out of this area. The schools around here, around Fort Wayne, are totally different when I was a kid. Because this like Carroll High School used to be a little farm school. We used to beat them at everything, like golf. It didn't matter. I think they were 3A, and now I believe they're 6A, which there was no 6A when I was in high school, or probably when any of us were in high school. But that school's huge now. It used to be Homestead was the big school, but South Side and North Side would always get some really good players though too. But Wayne is always good too. That's a team I forget about. The Wayne Generals. They always with the powder blue uniforms. We'll see. I want to go to once I like to go to a couple of high school games and see some of the top players in the state once the tournament gets going. Like I went and watched Braylon Mullins last year some, and that was totally worth it. I would say it's totally worth it. If you're, a big IU fan and, make your way out to one of these high school sectional or regional games, take in the old gym, get some popcorn and a Pepsi. I was talking to Brian Tonsoni about the bracket stuff. He told me if Indiana really goes on a winning streak, and he does the Delphi bracketology, that Indiana could possibly get to a 7 seed. I will say, I was a little dashed by that. I was thinking, I mean, what if Indiana won out and then won the Big Ten tournament? Could they get a 5 seed? I don't know if that's possible, but I was a little disappointed. But I think they're sitting on about I've seen 10 seed now or 9, but it's never. That's right. It hits different during sectional time. You know, we made the class system, but the sectionals used to mean more than they mean now. They just don't. The local sectionals just don't mean what they used to. Like back in the day, I mean, if like I live up here, so schools like East Side, Prairie Heights, just all of them up here in the farm country, all those schools, Hamilton, those schools, they were just waiting to play in the sectional or have a chance to win a sectional against like a school like DeKalb, East Noble, all the other schools. Angola is a bigger school. But that's what it was. It was just more local. The sectionals mattered, and the little schools were trying to beat the big schools in the sectionals. Now they just separate them all out. East Side, which is Butler, they play their own. Whatever. It's never gonna go back. But that's right. The chick from Cheers, Shelley Long, Southside High School. I think was she class of she was Mrs. Brady in the remake of the Brady Bunch movie too. Don't forget about that. Piece of classic American cinema. 1967 she graduated. My gosh, there she is. Southside High School. That was kind of the dangerous school when I was growing up. North Side too. Getting ready for the second half here though. The first 5 minutes, would just love to see Indiana get right back into the game and keep pressing here because it's going to be tough. They're showing the golf. I mean, I heard yesterday that Ricky Fowler was like off the lead, but I guess he must have fallen out here. Just looking through these comments, I definitely agree on that. Dorn, he had a couple of nice spots there, but yeah, you would just like to see him settle in and score like 12 or 14 points in a couple of games in a row, not be so streaky. But Wilkerson's got 14 in the first half. Yeah, he needs somebody else to come alongside him. I mean, Tucker DeVries has 7, but Sam Alexis played that He's been playing better. He needs somebody else to really step up. Enright he's got 4 assists, 1 rebound, but missed his couple of shots. Same with Dorn. You get a couple of those to fall, and this is like just a close game. I felt like like Dorn missed a open one. I felt like Enright would have hit one of the 2 he took normally. So we'll see. A couple of those would have been a 6-point difference, but Indiana can get hot on the 3 ball. Illinois is kind of they start guarding them around the 3 real tight and letting them have some more paint touches. So we'll see how they're going to continue to play this as this goes on here. Points in the paint. Illinois got 20. Indiana's got 14. So, and only 13 threes. That's maybe a little light. Normally they maybe shoot 30 to 35. So we'll see how this goes. But they have got to rebound. 1 offensive rebound for Sam Alexis. I think that was the first possession. Sam Alexis got that offensive rebound, and then Illinois was 7 offensive rebounds. That is killer. That one possession, really. In Illinois, it was like no harm, no foul on that, but because they got the charge, but they had 3 offensive rebounds on 1 possession. So, it is what it is. They got to play better in the second half. And hit a couple more of their threes if they're comfortable and play better defense on Merkovic. Wagler is going to get his drives. He's not lighting them up on the threes. I mean, the Avicic isn't lighting them up on threes. Everyone's wearing orange there, except their coaches. They like to coordinate that, I would think. All right, here we go. Illinois got the ball first. Boswell drives right in. Curl pass around and Enright with the steal right on the first possession. All right. Enright over to DeVries. Dorn sets the screen, gets Wilkerson in the corner. I thought that was a good. That's a nice play. That pass leads them right into the corner, and good play there. Just unfortunate he could not make that one. Wagler drives right. Enright stays on Avicic. And Wagler being guarded by Alexis. Wagler misses the front iron on that, and Dorn with the rebound. Enright pushing it, gets it up to DeVries. They got to push the pace here a little bit. Dorn loses the ball. Enright back to Wilkerson. Now Alexis has it. And he's got a one-on-one with Avicic. Drives right. Comes back. Backing him in. Tucker DeVries now has it up top. The looping pass. Out of bounds. 2.9 to shoot for the Hoosiers. That place is like almost nearly identical to Mackey Arena when you just look at the roof structure there. DeVries. Oh, he tried to Larry Bird it, and it couldn't flutter over the backboard there, so out of bounds. Only Bird can pull that off, with that lever shot. Wagler drives right to Avicic, to Davis in the corner. Down to Avicic with a big dunk. Indiana falling asleep on defense there. Who was supposed to? And he just got him on his back and led him right into the hoop. Illinois getting up 31-40. Alexis with the ball, dribble handoff to DeVries. He's going, backing him down with the end right now to DeVries, driving left, knocked that ball out of bounds and to out of bounds off of DeVries. Couple of bad possessions here to start with some turnovers. Yeah, the ghost slip screen. You gotta watch for that. Wagler, Avicic. I think you gotta block out there. Like Alexis has to block that guy out. He shoots the three. You go past him and you let the ball comes right back to him. You go closing out there, but you cannot let the guy that just shot that ball get the rebound. That was just a stupid mistake right there. You're bailing them out because they're missing their threes, and then you're just bailing them out. 31-43 now, the biggest lead for Illinois. Well, DeVries crosses the line and picks up his dribble. Now, Reed Bailey. How are they? Oh my gosh. It's just like everything in this first couple minutes are not going IU's way. So, Reed Bailey, at least he didn't completely freak out there. No, that went off of Illinois. And that referee did not have let's see his angle. What do you guys think? You think they're going to win this challenge? Funny. He did. They have not had a great start to this here, but there's still a lot of time left. If you're looking, ESPN's win probability has Indiana a 4% chance to win this game right now. Oop, the challenge was upheld, so Illinois' ball. Just see it here. Wow, Illinois 5-0 run to start this. Not what Indiana. They have got to keep fighting. I mean, this is the kind of game they can't get blown out. They gotta like they gotta have this game go down to the wire. That could have went either way. I don't know. It looked like Dorn's hand kind of got underneath the ball like this. Most of the time, like the referee, if that guy's the guy that made the call right there, he's not gonna go against what he sees in the replay unless it's like just just obvious, completely obvious. And that was definitely not obvious. And right on Wagler's driving right, and he's traveling all over the place, but they don't call. I don't know what he was doing there. And right now with the ball, loops it up to DeVries. Reed Bailey. Nice pass down to Wilkerson, but he kind of got himself trapped there and then got bailed out. Yes, he did. It was like hands across America. Wilkerson hits those free throws. All right. Get it within 10. Everything's gone really bad to start this first couple of minutes here, but I mean, it's really not bad. All right. Boswell drives right. Reed Bailey, I think he whiffed on the block, but Boswell does not finish that off. Tucker DeVries, if he could jump, he could have just dunked that right there, but he cannot. Wilkerson with the ball now. Reed Bailey. Back over to Wilkerson, drives right, gets right into the basket, puts in the 2-pointer and the foul. That is exactly. All right. 36-43, and the Hoosiers are making a little bit of progress now. 16 minutes about coming up on left in this game, and Wagler with the ball. Wilkerson on Wagler. Now Reed Bailey. Wagler just goes around everybody and puts that in. He is a tough guard. Reed Bailey to DeVries. DeVries drives left, pushes off, gets into the lane, rattles around and out. Shoot. Right. Get back on defense. Boswell now gets it to Wagler. I don't know what you got to do. You almost got to like take this Wagler guy out of the game sometimes, but Dorn on Merkovic. Now over to Davis in the corner on that reverse. And Avicic goes right over the back on Bailey. Got to block him out and get that rebound. But Indiana's really struggling in the front court game against Illinois. And right, driving right, gets it back over to DeVries. Misses. 36-47, and Illinois is coming. Boswell. Back to Wagler. Wagler's dribbling up top, being guarded by Dorn. Decent defense by Dorn there to just kind of keep his position and bottle him up. Dorn now behind the line, uh, throws up a brick, and Illinois got the ball back. Boswell, that's just a savvy move. That's tough. Indiana's got to make a play. He should. What's up, Michael Kolak? Happy to see you here. Harpoon Bakery, spot on because we cannot stop them right now. I know, like Wagler almost has to be bracketed with two players, but he just that was ridiculous that he called out the Pacers because the Pacers they have had so many injuries and it started in the finals last year, so everyone knew they were not going to be good this year. They got to hit shots. Tucker, yeah, he's not had a good year. Yeah, and Miles, he's gotten some limited time here, but he owns it. I mean, Illinois, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but they're playing like one of the top 5 teams in the country over the past few weeks. But then what puts it in my mind is like Wisconsin beat them. They lost a couple of games recently, so it kind of makes you think, all right, well, maybe they can be had. The win probability is still sitting at a meager 4% here. Now they have the win probability at 100 for Illinois, which Wagler has been so dialed in. I've been watching a lot of their games recently, and he's tough. All right. Enright with the ball. To DeVries, Wilkerson. Shoot, they needed that. And Josiah Miles with a rebound and foul. Enright to Wilkerson. Wilkerson, I thought he was going to throw the floater up there. And then around the horn to DeVries. Drives left, gets trapped. Nice pass to find Wilkerson. Gosh, hit that one. Oh, that's a rare. He's going to miss that wide open. But Illinois trapping there and, leaving him wide open on the other side. They don't tell guys to follow their shot anymore. Just staying there. Illinois, Wagler with the ball now. Indiana looking for answers on defense. They need to get stops. Nails it. Nails the three. You're going to stretch this out to 17 right here. Indiana's got to really be challenged too. That's good to know. Yeah, that was a classic. $16-point lead now for Illinois. DeVries over to Wilkerson. Indiana desperate for a bucket here. Sam Alexis backing down Himmerkaus. Josiah Miles throws up a three, rattles around and out. Indiana cannot buy a basket, and I don't know if he's the guy you want shooting one there. Merkovic fakes Enright. Bad defense by Enright there. Leaves his feet. Lets him go right in. 54-36 now. This is definitely Indiana has not been in a spot like this in a while. Wilkerson gets double teamed. Gets it to Enright. Over to DeVries. Like he should have just shot that one. Wilkerson, come on. Drives left. Okay. They really needed that shot. 38-54. Come on. Come on, Indiana. There's like a lot of time in this. Get to the next timeout. Maybe hit some shots. Get a stop. Keep on playing. And Wagler's got the ball. He has been the difference maker here in the past few minutes. Yep. And you got to get a loose ball like that. I mean, you can't. They're up. They're up nearly 20 points, and he's saving the ball. And then Indiana's not even really making an effort at the ball. I mean, that's the kind of play that drives you nuts. We seem like we don't play great when we're on CBS in some of these games. They do. They got an all-white guy team. That's true, but I mean, this team has done some work so far. I mean, they are what they are pretty much. I mean, they're not going to. They're not going to play any other way than what they got now. CBS ain't the problem. Yeah, and who's your daddy? I like your picture there. Is that Charlie Sheen in action? Yes, he would have. You know what's amazing? Our football team had a guy from Wisconsin who had a Polish last name, Nowakowski, and he was a black guy. I mean, and what's more amazing than that is that Wisconsin cut him. Well, you're putting me there with Jim Coyle. I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing. Me and Jim have had I don't know, some problems. Here's a comment you can get it behind. Put in Mendoza. That's right. All right. Wilkerson with the ball. I mean, we just got to see what they can do the rest of the way. They can get this thing back to 10 points first. And right, and a turnover. You're not going to get it back to 10 points turning it over like that. But Merkovic bringing the ball up. Illinois has a lot of guys that can score. I mean, well, Wagler makes the extra pass, and he really shouldn't have. He had a layup there, and so maybe that's an opportunity. Indiana hits a three and reverses some of its bad luck here. Enright going across the lane, gets it over to Dorn, who's open and misses. Nine shots in a row. Indiana is just, yeah. How many have they scored in this half? Alexis with a block. Just keep on playing here. Wilkerson drives and he turns it over. Everybody out of sorts against this. What is it? The orange shirts? Boy, Indiana's learning a lot of lessons here today. 18-point lead for Illinois. Wilkerson to DeVries. We're not hitting anything. We're not hitting our threes. We're not hitting wide open threes. We're turning the ball over. Whew. This is the kind of game where you're trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube almost. It's like, okay, just completely forget about what happened there. Move on to Purdue. You still got a lot of time left in this game. We're at 9:39. So Enright drives and Alexis puts the ball into the basket, which is what you're looking to do in the game of basketball. 16. There is 10 minutes left in this game. You get a couple of stops and hit a couple of threes and get this down within 10 points. And suddenly a game that looked like it was going to be a runaway for Illinois, you can start to put some actual pressure on them. Can they do that? Can they challenge themselves to do that? Illinois is looking like, you get up 20 and you get a little complacent. It's just in the human condition. Avicic misses. All right. Indiana with a chance here now to string some together. Enright's going to drive this ball and kick it off of his foot. They don't call the kick. Wilkerson now gets in front of Hummerkaus and now being guarded by Avicic to DeVries, who's going to be guarded by Avicic again. Back to Wilkerson. Now to Enright. Good pass to DeVries in the corner. And there you go. Now all of a sudden you got a 5-0 run. Get a stop here. And you'll have the under 8 timeout. You get a stop. Here, you can go talk about it. 13. And Indiana shooting the ball horribly. This is why defense is so important. 1 of 8. And you got to get that rebound. Wagler gets the offensive board. Back out to Merkovic. Now back to Wagler. He's slowed down a little bit, but they go right back to Merkovic inside, and they seem to like they can just turn the nozzle on and off whenever they want here. Dorn with the ball. DeVries looks to take the three. Now he does take it, and a brick off the back board. Not good there. Indiana desperate for a stop. Wagler pushing on Enright. They get it to Merkovic. He sloppy right off the back iron. All right. Enright with the ball now. Driving on Merkovic. To Dorn. Now Dorn driving right. And foul. All right. So timeout. Orion, the last 6 games, they've not been bad. So how could you give up on Indiana basketball? You can't give up on it. It's like giving up on a sick family member. I hear a lot of people say that. I've even said that, but I watch every game. I haven't missed a game in a while. Yeah, I can see that. Here we go. Todd says, I've watched 97% of every IU football game since 93. Point being, the basketball team is playing hard. I'll hang with this team and the coaching staff. That's the attitude right there. Gotta stay positive. It's sports, you know. I mean, you gotta look up. There's a guy I watch all the time. He's called the college football historian, I believe. But he just made a video about 7 different coaches throughout history who, and everybody's kind of heard of these guys, but they are the perfectionist. And that is where, that is what Kurt Signetti is at Indiana. I mean, he's bringing this perfectionist style in, but yeah, those 7 turnovers are killer in this game because Indiana did not turn the ball over that much. I mean, notice Connerway never came back into this game. I mean, he's practically he's just kind of lost his continuity. And Trent Sicily is a guy who's just not playing. That's why this team is a totally different team than they were at the beginning of the year. Wilkerson gets it into Alexis in pretty good position. Can he get this up? No. Back out to DeVries. They're going to get it to Enright and set it up. Enright over to DeVries. Drives left with a nice feed to Alexis, and he gets a foul on that. That was a nice setup and a nice play. Nice read. And right there, the bounce pass right there is so overlooked. This is good stuff. Yeah, Dan Hurley was 16 and 17. It's it's weird with the transfer portal. Basketball is so much different than football when you're bringing in all new players because continuity, I think, of basketball is much more important. So, um, I think there's every one of these teams that gets a bunch of transfers. There's always like one or two guys on each one where, like, kind of like Connerway, where they are like better without that person. It just happens in the transfer portal because you don't know the players entirely. Alexis driving in, nice turnaround, 48 to 60 now. Indiana needs some stops. I mean, if they could get this a couple of shots, get this down to 8 right now, can they do it? Wagler over to Boswell. Illinois slowed it up a little bit. I mean, the defense has been a little bit easier for Indiana. Avicic takes that long three, and Wagler in there fighting for the board, gets it, and Alexis on the foul. They got to rebound. You cannot let a guard go in there and rebound that one. This Wagler guy he is on fire. Well, I've been watching him lately, and he is starting to, like, just his smoothness and how he's been able to do things. He's reminding me of what the guy was doing for Florida all last year towards the end of the year. And you could just see when they needed something to happen, he could just make magic uh, come out of his pores. So I don't know. I mean, I think Illinois would be the next Big Ten team to win a national championship. I mean, with all these European guys, that would be kind of something to see. The Big Ten has to win a national championship. It bothers me so much that Michigan State was the last one to win it. All right, Enright with the ball now. Gets it to Alexis. Come on. DeVries going nuts with his hands over there. And Alexis with a bad pass turns it over. Wagler right in the passing lane. And he just knows where to be, what to do. And I'm just impressed with this guy. Gets it down to Merkovic, and he's going to get fouled. No, he doesn't. And I mean, like Jalen Hood Shafino, he's right. I mean, he's above the level of that when you got a freshman coming in who's got that kind of skill. It's unbelievable. Which just bringing up freshmen, I'm working on a video right now about Romeo Langford because boy, you wouldn't even imagine Romeo Langford, 26 years old, out of basketball in the United States. I believe he's in the G League. I mean, I wouldn't say he's out of basketball. He's in the G League. He played in Italy, but quite just a tragic story how he went when he went, and then where he ended up because he should have stayed at Indiana. He just was not good enough. Illinois tosses up the three, and they get another offensive rebound. Just that is what will be the story of this game. The offensive rebound's terrible. Now back out. Illinois sets it up again. Wagler with the ball. And they get the switch on Merkovic. They just are getting what they want with Merkovic on this block over here. When he gets the mismatch, he's just going to do damage on Enright. And Illinois is just kind of playing with its food a little bit right now, type of scenario. Wilkerson drives in, gets fouled. Enright was right on him. Man, this guy has killed IU. 25 points, 10 to 16, 6 rebounds. I mean, all right. Enright with the ball now. Tosses it to DeVries on the handoff. DeVries goes left. Back to Alexis. Alexis, one-on-one with Avicic. Backing him in. Turnaround jumper. No. He's recently hit some of those, but I don't know how much that's IU's best shot. But struggle today. Hummer cows for 3. They get another offensive board and put it right back in. Just the same story on a repeat every time. Offensive board. Thank you. I work on those videos. I'm trying to make the editing, the voiceover. I have an AI companion, but my voiceover is terrible. I'm trying to get better at that part. Dorn, and that's another turnover for Indiana, 48-66. Illinois stretches it right back out, and Ivicic blocked him out from the other side and rotated around. Pretty light on the threes in this game, 5 of 22. But they are killing us in points in the paint. 36 points in the paint. How many? 14 offensive rebounds to 2 offensive rebounds. I mean, you just can't give a team that many extra opportunities. They're 20. I mean, just because of that, they're 27 to 61, allowing them to shoot 44% and have this kind of a lead. We've only taken 45 shots. They've taken 16 more shots than we have. We're 19 of 45, shooting 42% right now, 5 of 22 on threes. They're shooting 6 of 27, 22.2%, and just annihilating us at the same time. So I would have thought Illinois would have, made more threes to garner an 18-point lead, but they didn't have to. All they had to do was get 14 rebounds and shoot 16 more shots than we shot, and your battleship is sunk before the percentages even matter when you don't rebound. And then the points in the paint. Fouls have not been hurting Indiana like they were at one time. They've been able to play in these games and not get guys into foul trouble, not get all these things going. I don't know what you do here. I mean, do you want to put Connerway in the game for a minute in Sicily maybe, and but the disjointed scoring. I mean, Alexis with 11, DeVries with 10. I mean, yeah, mostly, if you get 4 guys in double figures, that's pretty good. But besides those 3 guys, really nothing from anybody else. 2 from Reed Bailey, 3 from Josiah Miles, and 1 point from Nick Dorn. So you're getting 6 points out of 3 guys, and then the other 3 guys scored all the rest of the points. So Wagler over to Humrick House, and he likes to take that. Alexis on the rebound. Can Indiana just get this game a little bit like a 8-point that it just doesn't look so terrible on paper, because that will matter in the net. It'll matter in the rankings. And right goes right down the lane, gets it over to Alexis. Out of Dorn, back to Alexis. DeVries, fade away, nothing. This thing's pretty much winding down. They're just kind of run clock now, and Indiana's going to have probably 3-4 possessions left. Boswell. Oh, and Avicic finally hits one when it really doesn't matter, but that's more of the Avicic I know in these games. Only 17. Thank you. Only 17. That is dismal. Now that is on. That's a Mike Woodson half right there. Alexis back down. Merkovic can't get it to go. Well, Illinois is hot, and Indiana's got the bench guys coming in over here. See who he'll bring in this last minute. I think we are better suited to have a better chance against Purdue. Maybe. Dude, I agree. This is pathetic. I mean, this game, I thought this game would really be like 90 to 88 type of game. I was way off on what I was thinking. This is the worst offensive. I wouldn't even say offensive performance. They're not shooting the ball at an all-time bad rates. It's just the worst execution they've had in any game of the entire year. Maybe. I don't know if that Kentucky and Louisville game was worse. Those games were worse, like Louisville in the first couple minutes. Oh my gosh. He bounced it up over the backboard and it went in. Dude, I hear you. I need some moderators, even though I don't like to police everybody. Unless somebody's like cursing me out, Dude, Ryan Kramer, you were right on here. I thought the same thing. I thought, Wisconsin was able to get one over on them, but teams like this are not going to be, they're not going to be asleep 2 games in a row. I mean, to hold them, I mean, they only scored 71 points. I would have thought Illinois would have scored a lot more in this. Indiana's execution was awful. Let's just look at the final stats here, and then we will let you go. I'll log into see what Kent has to say, or assembly call, or wherever you go. But yeah, they end up 29 to 66. We end up 20 of 49. I mean, they just out rebounded us. And it's crazy. Defensive rebounds were only 21 to 20, but offensive rebounds were 15 to 2. I mean, that is crazy. We only shot 6 free throws and they only shot 7. I mean, so that was like a non-factor, like a wash. I mean, we were 6 of 24. They were 7 of 31 on threes. But they shot 17 more shots than us. I mean, that's the difference in the game. You get 17 more opportunities, and they scored 20 more points with us with 17 more field goal attempts. So, yeah, a hurtful game. I mean, you want to see them be a lot closer than that. I think they did play hard. I didn't really see a lot of guys, um, you know, completely dogging it there at the end. I just really did not see that they just could not get out of their own way there. And it's amazing that they had that opportunity to get some stops and maybe get it down to 8 or 6. So the game doesn't it felt like it was never in reach, but they had opportunities to get it down and they just never could really get over that hump. So he might be going over there, Brad, and you're not. I mean, or maybe Trent Sisley, I think I'll stay at Indiana. I think Indiana could get we need to get Braylon Mullins to come to Indiana in the transfer portal. Maybe he goes to I don't know if he goes to the NBA or not, but that's still my fever dream. It looked like B team versus the varsity. We do. I think we match up better because Braden Smith, he's part of the he's a leprechaun. So, we can handle him. He's 5'11. He's not gonna beat up on us like Wagler. What a performance by Wagler. And if you want to watch a guy who's just tearing it up in basketball, tune into these Illinois games because I've kind of as long as he stays hot, I mean, they will have a good chance in the tournament as much as anybody because they have just I like the flow of their two guards. They have a more physical big guard in forgot his name all the time. And then Boswell. Like they got the physical guard in Boswell, and then you got Wagler with the change of pace. It's tough to guard. And then with all the height and length they have everywhere, I mean, that Avicic is a unbelievable rebounder. And normally he shoots the ball a lot better than he did today. So, but thank you guys so much for joining me on this live stream episode. We got to get into the tournament. And this game wasn't a big part of it. Michigan State at home is going to be a big part of it. Michigan State, and we know Michigan State beat Illinois. That was the other team that beat them. So, Illinois reeling a little bit, and they're playing a home game, and they got back on Indiana just like that's what Illinois, they were gunning for that game to beat Indiana in this one and get back on track. And so Indiana moves, gets another loss here, moves to let's look at the standings completely here before we go. And yeah, they go to 8-7 and then at Purdue. So that's it. You got to beat Michigan State. You can probably beat Ohio State on the road. And the Purdue game is a toss-up. They've beat Purdue 4 out of 5 right now. So that's something. And Purdue is playing some of their best basketball right now too, though. But thank you, Todd, everybody. Have a great afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope you guys had a good one. And until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.